Hi guys, my name is Sarah Giles and I am a UK athletics running coach from Cheltenham. I've been coaching people through 0 to 5k for about 6 years now. I've coached hundreds of people that have never run before and decided they wanted to get moving, and I've got them running 5k and beyond. I've had some of them running marathons now, so this is your opportunity to shine. Thanks for joining in. If you've got anybody else that you think might be interested, please let them know about the channel. Click subscribe and then you're not going to miss a single video. It's completely free. I'm going to do it with you, so I hope you have a really good time. But before we get going, I want to get you to make me a promise. Please do not go so hard on yourself. The idea is that each of these sessions is going to be challenging, but it's going to be that by the end of the session you've completed the session and you're feeling like you've been challenged, not that you're feeling so challenged in the first 1 or 2 minutes of each session that you want to cave in or give up. Okay, go easy on yourself. If you've not run before, you've not run before, so it is going to elevate your heart rate quite high quite quickly if you try and go off too hard. So please do listen to what I say and go easy. I'm going to take you through a program of 10 weeks. Each week I'm going to do a video delivering you a different session, showing you different ways that you can increase your running fitness. Now, also at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a homework run, and that homework run is going to be one that you're going to go off and do on your own. That's going to be something fairly easy, like run for 8 to 10 minutes or walk for 8 to 10 minutes. It's not going to be something, sorry, I should just actually clarify that when I say run for 8 to 10 minutes, I don't mean straight off. I mean it's a run-walk system, which I'll be telling you about. But those are going to be easier, and then the ones I'm going to be demoing for you are going to be the ones where you got to think maybe a little bit more. So there's no magic pill. You need to be able to do this consistently. You need to try and do this the way I tell you, and hopefully by week 10 we're going to get you tackling a 5k, whether you're walking it at the end of it, whether you're running it without any walking. That's just going to be down to individual progress. I don't want you to worry about that. The beauty of this is you're going to get to do these sessions anytime you want that fits into your schedule at home. I do recommend trying to get a session in once every 6 to 8 days is kind of optimal, and then your extra homework run sandwiched in between that. Try not to have it on the day before or the day after this session. Having a watch, a good pair of stable shoes is really going to help you. Thin layers, because you never know what the weather is. I mean, we're approaching spring summer now, but I don't know when you're actually doing this and what part of the world you're doing this, so layer up so you can just take off layers as and when you need to. And if it's sunny outside, please do get your sunscreen on. One little tip with your shoes, it's good to size up by about half to a full size, because your feet do swell when you're running the more you start to run. But at the moment I wouldn't say go investing a lot of money on shoes. Please don't buy into anything expensive, don't do anything crazy yet. Just see if you enjoy it, see if you're going to stick to it, and if you do, then's the good time to go to a running shop and get some advice on a good pair of shoes. Right, so if you want to, you can go to your app store right now and download an app, something like Runkeeper or Map My Run or Strava, and this is going to track your progress and your distance on your phone for you. Unless you've got a smartwatch or you've got a GPS watch, or you can borrow one off of somebody, then you can use that too. Otherwise, just go out with a stopwatch. Likewise, if you don't have a watch, not a big deal. Look at the clock before you go out, look at the clock when you get in. Right, map out a route, and we want there to be as many lamp posts as you can find. So somewhere with lots of consistent lamp posts would be fantastic, or some other kind of marker along the road. You've done all that, let's go. So we're going to start off with some squats, pushing your bottom backwards with a nice flat back. It's as if you're sitting back into a seat. Your feet are shoulder width apart. You can either raise your arms out in front like I'm doing here, or before I was demonstrating holding your hands together as in more of a goblet style, as you can see here. So your knees are just going to end up around about over the tops of your toes. Aim to do around about 10 of these. And then into a dynamic stretch. This is to stretch out your quadricep muscles at the fronts of your thighs. So we're just lifting up our feet and kicking up towards our bottom. Do this for around about 30 seconds. Same with high knees, using your opposite arm and opposite leg, raising your knee to stretch out your hamstrings. So we're working on stretching out the backs of your legs now. It's also good for working your balance. This is a fantastic stretch for your hip. We're opening out our hips, so it's just a leg swing. Hold a wall or something for support and just allowing your leg to swing like a pendulum. Do both sides for around about 30 to 60 seconds. Try not to force the leg, just allow a natural swing, keeping your back as straight as you can while you do this. So this one almost looks like a little crab walk. So you're in a very slight squat and you're just doing little steps to the side, around about 10 each side. Okay, I just want to show you the gentle jogging motion you're going to go to with a nice straight back. Standing nice and tall, and you're going to be pulling your arms behind you as you run. Just exaggerating the arm movement here. You can see my elbows are in a right angle and I'm using the backspace as opposed to pushing my arms forwards, as you sometimes see people do, which looks a little bit strange. So really use that backspace behind your body, so pulling back on your arms. That's going to drive your body forward. Try not to bring your arms across your body like you see here. That's just wasted energy. So we're looking for a nice tall posture when we're running. So a little way of doing this is making sure that we bend from the ankles to keep our back nice and straight. So that's a nice little drill. This is to stop you from having a bend in your back when you run. Now have a little look at this. Can you see the bend in the hips when I'm running here? This is what some people do. You'll see this, it's quite common. Or another one that you'll see that's quite common is sitting back on the hips and leading with the knees. So I'm kind of exaggerating these, but you will see people running like this. These are things to try and avoid. Don't lead with the knees there. You're aiming to run tall and nice and relaxed, just like in this shot here. Here's another one. There she goes, running up and down on a drive. So we're just warming up. Regular walking pace for 2 or 3 minutes. And then once that's done, I want you to get into a brisk walk. So we're brisk walking, really trying to build our heart rate up. So quite a fast walk. Concentrate on walking tall and using the backspace with your arms to propel yourself forward. Okay, that's my warm-up done. So I'm going to break into my run walk section now. So here's my very first lamppost. Hello lamppost. And I've got plenty more down the road there. So I've been actually just working on my road today. So I am going to, there's a lamppost over there in the distance. I don't know if you can see it, but I've spotted it. I'm going to jog very slowly. I'm going to go just off of walking pace. So it's only going to be very slightly faster, the walking pace. It's absolutely fine if you go at your walking pace, because when you go into a jogging or a running motion, it's going to be using different muscles to what you used to, so it's going to elevate your heart rate anyway. So it doesn't matter how slow you go, we're just training our body to run no matter what the pace is, okay? So I am going to run to the first lamppost, and then I'm going to walk as a recovery to the next one. So I'm keeping it nice and steady. You're probably going to find that you can go a little bit faster to begin with, but I don't want you to. The idea of this is to keep going and to get to the end of today's session feeling happy and strong. So here we go, my first lamppost, and now I'm going to walk to the next. It's supposed to be an enjoyable experience. This first week we're definitely concentrating on priming, which is getting your body ready for the exercise that you're going to be doing over the next 10 weeks. Here's my next one. I'm going. So don't worry too much about going in full throttle. That's not what it's all about. Okay, there's the next one. So I'm walking. So you're just keeping it nice and consistent for the whole time that you're out. Okay, I've just come to the end of my session. So I've done 14 minutes, lamppost to lamppost. Sometimes what you find is one of your lampposts might disappear and you don't have one on your side of the road. So just look to the other side of the road or look to something at a suitable distance and use that instead. That's absolutely fine. So we've done the main part of the workout. Now we need to get to stretching. So I've just got you back to my house now. I'm going to do the stretching. I'll try and talk you through them as I go. Okay, so we're starting off with a quad stretch. All you have to do here is raise one leg back, holding onto your foot, keeping your knees together. You're just stretching out the front upper part of your thigh. You can hold on to something for stability if you want to, holding each stretch for roughly 10 to 15 seconds. So here we have a calf stretch, both feet facing forward, your front knee is bent, your back leg is straight, and you're driving your heel in towards the ground. Going into a hamstring stretch, lifting your hips up, your back knee is bent, your front leg is straight with both feet facing forward. You can lift up your front toe to increase the stretch. So the upper part of the leg that is straight, at the back of that leg, that's where you're going to be feeling the stretch. You might feel it just behind the knee. You can alternatively use a wall like I like to use here. Okay, so we're going into an adductor stretch here, both feet facing forward, nice wide stance, leaning in one side. You should be feeling this in towards the groin area on the inside of your upper legs. If you've got tight hips, you might find that you need to tip your toe outwards slightly and do exactly the same movement. If you've got something nice and stable to hold on to, like a wall, you can just bend one knee, cross over your leg and just push down on the other knee that's raised over your leg. That should get you a nice glute stretch, so that's in your bottom muscle there. Alternatively, you can't see this overly well, sorry about the camera angle, you can hook your leg up onto a wall. I like to finish off the exercises with this simple back stretch where you just round your back, tuck your head in underneath, cross your arms over your legs, and then just allow your arms to hang towards the end, and then as you come up nice and slowly. Well done for getting out for your week 1 0 to 5k run. Great job. And now you're home and hopefully fueled. That's me, that's my lunch and drink. Then it's a good idea to chart your progress. So I recommend getting a paper diary, or if you've used Strava or Runkeeper and you're logging your workouts electronically, that's absolutely fine too. There's probably a notes section for your session. What I want you to do is I want you to write how you were feeling before you went out, how you felt on the run. Did you feel strong? Did you feel weak? Were you tired before you went? What was the weather like? How were you mentally before you went out? It doesn't have to be masses, but just a few words about these things, and it's really going to help you when you look back later on. Some weeks we have good weeks, some weeks we have strong weeks, and sometimes we don't even know how to explain the discrepancies between those weeks. So it's a really good idea to get out and chart these things in a diary so you can look back. I mean, I've got years worth of diaries, and it's the best tool for a runner that you could ever have. And I've just noticed that this reflective patch on my hat is not symmetrical. That's driving me mad. Anyway, I'll see you week 2. Well done. You nearly got away without your homework run, didn't you? But actually, week 1 doesn't have a homework run. I'm not asking you to get out again this week. What I do want you to do is practice around with your dynamic stretches, do some squats. Let's do a little squat challenge for you. So 10 squats to 20 squats, 3 to 4 times this week. We just want to activate all of those running muscles, do a little bit of strengthening work before you go out next week. I promise you there will be homework runs next week. It's just this was about priming. Next week we're really getting into it. Have a good one.